Greenland. The name evokes images of a vast, icy expanse, but something is changing. The Arctic ice is melting, revealing Greenland's hidden treasures. The Arctic, once an impenetrable barrier, is now a melting frontier. Greenland's strategic value is skyrocketing. Control over Greenland could mean control over vital shipping lanes and untapped resources. The stakes are high, and the competition is fierce. What does this mean for Greenland and its people? Greenland's ice sheet was a frozen fortress guarding its secrets. Now the ice is receding, revealing treasures beneath. Oil, gas, minerals, rare earth elements, resources once locked away are now within reach. The race for these resources is on. The potential economic benefits are immense. But this windfall comes with a cost. The environmental impact could be devastating. Can Greenland balance economic development with environmental protection? Greenland's resources read like a wish list for any nation. Oil, gas, iron ore, zinc, copper, and rare earth elements. China dominates the rare earth market, making Greenland appealing to many countries. Mining these resources is risky. Greenland's indigenous communities are wary of the environmental and cultural impact. The challenge is to balance economic benefits with protecting the environment and cultural heritage. Greenland's strategic importance extends beyond its resources. New Arctic shipping routes are opening up. Control over these routes could give nations significant advantages. Russia, China, and the US are all vying for influence. Greenland must navigate these competing interests. The Arctic Council struggles to manage growing competition. The promise of economic prosperity is tempting. But this wealth comes at a price. Rapid modernization could erode Greenland's cultural identity and disrupt traditional ways of life. The environmental impact of large-scale mining is a major concern. The spotlight on Greenland has ignited a debate independence. The allure of self-determination is growing stronger. But the path to independence is challenging. Greenland's economy is still reliant on fishing and Danish subsidies. The international community watches with curiosity and apprehension. The decision is up to the Greenlandic people. Greenland is at a pivotal crossroads. The melting ice has become a gateway to new opportunities. Greenland must seize these opportunities responsibly. Protecting its environment and cultural heritage is crucial. The world is watching. Can Greenland balance progress with preservation? The Arctic is transforming. New sea routes are reshaping global trade. Greenland is strategically positioned in this maritime revolution. The economic benefits could be transformative, but increased shipping traffic raises environmental concerns. Balancing development with protection is crucial. Greenland's strategic importance extends beyond maritime potential. Its location gives it immense geopolitical significance. The US established Thule Air Base during the Cold War. Russia and China are asserting their presence in the Arctic. Greenland faces a delicate balancing act. Navigating these geopolitical waters requires deft diplomacy. The Arctic, once a symbol of international cooperation, is increasingly becoming a focal point for geopolitical rivalry. The melting ice, revealing new economic opportunities and strategic vulnerabilities, has unleashed a scramble for influence among nations. Some analysts warn of a new Cold War brewing in the Arctic, with potentially disastrous consequences for the region and the world. The Arctic Council, established in 1996 as a forum for cooperation among Arctic states, is facing unprecedented challenges. Disputes over territorial claims, access to resources, and freedom of navigation are becoming increasingly common. The Arctic Council, operating on a consensus-based model, is struggling to address these complex and contentious issues. The militarization of the Arctic is another worrying trend. Russia's military buildup in the region, coupled with NATO's increased presence, is raising tensions. The risk of miscalculation or accidents, always present in such a volatile environment, is amplified by the harsh climate and the lack of effective communication channels. The future of the Arctic hangs in the balance. Will it become a zone of cooperation, where nations work together to address common challenges such as climate change and sustainable development? Or will it descend into a new Cold War, characterized by mistrust, competition, and the potential for conflict? The choices made by Arctic nations, including Greenland, in the coming years, will determine the fate of this fragile and strategically vital region. Greenland, a land of ice and snow, a place of stunning beauty and harsh realities. But this remote island, once relegated to the fringes of global affairs, is now at the very center of a high-stakes geopolitical game. The Arctic, once considered a frozen wasteland, is thawing, revealing its strategic treasures and igniting a scramble for influence among the world's superpowers. Greenland, with its strategic location and untapped resources, is the linchpin in this new Arctic equation. Imagine a giant chessboard stretching across the top of the world. The United States, Russia, China, the European Union, all vying for position, each move carefully calculated. Greenland in this game of global chess is a kingmaker. Its allegiance, its resources, its very destiny could tip the balance of power in the 21st century. The United States, with its historical ties to Greenland dating back to World War II, sees the island as a crucial buffer zone against Russian expansionism in the Arctic. Thule Air Base, a relic of the Cold War, has taken on renewed significance as a vital early warning station and a symbol of American commitment to the region. Russia, with its vast Arctic coastline and ambitions to become a dominant Arctic power, views Greenland with a wary eye. Control over Arctic shipping routes and access to Greenland's resources are key to Russia's Arctic strategy. The Kremlin has been steadily increasing its military presence in the region, sending a clear signal that it intends to defend its interests in the Arctic. Greenland, caught between the ambitions of these global giants, faces a delicate balancing act. On the one hand, it seeks to leverage its strategic importance to attract foreign investment, boost its economy, and ultimately achieve its long-held dream of independence from Denmark. On the other hand, it's acutely aware of the risks of becoming overly reliant on any one power, risking its autonomy and becoming embroiled in a larger geopolitical conflict. Greenland's relationship with Denmark, its colonial master for centuries, is complex and evolving. Greenland gained home rule in 1979 and further autonomy in 2009, but defense and foreign policy remain largely under Danish control. The growing independence movement in Greenland, fueled by a desire for self-determination and the prospect of economic prosperity, is testing the limits of this relationship. China, though geographically distant from the Arctic, has emerged as a wild card in the region. With its growing economic might and insatiable appetite for resources, China has declared itself a near-Arctic state and has been actively engaging with Arctic nations, including Greenland. Chinese investment in Greenlandic mining projects has raised eyebrows in Western capitals, concerned about China's long-term strategic goals. Greenland, walking a diplomatic tightrope, is trying to carefully balance these competing interests. It welcomes foreign investment from any country, as long as it benefits Greenland and respects its environmental and cultural heritage. It seeks to maintain strong ties with Denmark while also asserting its right to chart its own course on the world stage. The Arctic, once a relatively low-tension region, is now a focal point for global diplomacy. The Arctic Council, established in 1996 as a forum for cooperation among Arctic states, has taken on a new urgency as the region's strategic importance grows. However, the Council's consensus-based decision-making process is facing increasing strain as geopolitical tensions rise. The United States, under the Trump administration, took a more assertive stance on the Arctic, withdrawing from international agreements and challenging China's and Russia's growing influence in the region. The Biden administration has signaled a return to multilateralism and a focus on climate change, but the underlying geopolitical competition remains. Greenland, as a key player in the Arctic, is finding its voice in these international forums. It's using its newfound platform to advocate for its own interests, particularly on issues such as climate change, sustainable development, and indigenous rights. Greenland's voice, once a whisper on the global stage, is now being heard loud and clear. The future of the Arctic, and of Greenland, hangs in the balance. Will the region descend into a new Cold War, characterized by mistrust, competition, and the potential for conflict? Or will nations find a way to cooperate, to manage the challenges and opportunities of a rapidly changing Arctic in a peaceful and sustainable way? The answer to that question will depend on the choices made by Arctic nations, including Greenland, in the years to come. The world is watching. The year is 2019. The world watches in astonishment as then-President Trump floats the idea of buying Greenland. The audacity, the sheer improbability of it. Could America, a nation built on the ideals of self-determination, actually purchase another country? The notion seems ripped from the pages of a satirical novel, yet here it was, splashed across the front pages of newspapers worldwide. The immediate response from Greenland was a resounding, "No." The island nation, fiercely proud of its cultural heritage and its burgeoning autonomy, was not about to become another star on the American flag. Denmark, Greenland's protectorate, echoed this sentiment, declaring the very idea absurd. The global community largely scoffed at Trump's proposal, dismissing it as another example of his unorthodox and often ill-conceived approach to foreign policy. But beneath the surface of this seemingly outlandish proposition lay a deeper truth, a testament to Greenland's growing geopolitical significance. The Arctic, once a frozen backwater, was rapidly thawing, revealing its strategic treasures and sparking a scramble for influence among the world's superpowers. Greenland, with its vast mineral wealth, its potential as a shipping hub, and its strategic location astride vital sea lanes, was suddenly a prize worth coveting. The United States, under the Trump administration, viewed Greenland through the lens of great power competition. The Arctic, in their view, was becoming a new arena for rivalry with Russia and China. Securing Greenland in this context was seen as a strategic imperative, a way to deny access to potential adversaries and to project American power in a strategically vital region. While the notion of the United States buying Greenland might seem like a far-fetched scenario, the underlying geopolitical realities that fueled that proposition haven't gone away. Greenland remains a land in transition, caught between its traditional way of life and the allure of modernization, between its desire for autonomy and its dependence on external powers. The future of Greenland is inextricably linked to the future of the Arctic, as the ice continues to melt at an alarming rate, opening up new shipping routes and revealing untapped resources. The geopolitical stakes will only grow higher. Greenland, with its strategic location and its untapped potential, will be at the center of this transformation. The challenge for Greenland is to navigate this complex geopolitical landscape while preserving its unique cultural identity and protecting its fragile environment. It must balance the economic benefits of resource extraction and foreign investment with the need for sustainable development and environmental protection. It must assert its autonomy while also recognizing the importance of international cooperation in addressing shared challenges such as climate change. The world is watching, with a mix of hope and apprehension, as Greenland charts its course into an uncertain future. Will Greenland become a pawn in a larger geopolitical game, its fate determined by the ambitions of distant powers? Or will it succeed in forging its own path, becoming a beacon of hope and a model for sustainable development in a rapidly changing world? The answer to that question lies in the hands of the Greenlandic people and the choices they make in the years to come. Greenland, a land of stark beauty, sculpted by ice and wind. For centuries, this massive island slumbered beneath a blanket of ice, largely forgotten by the world, but no longer. The Arctic is thawing, and with it, Greenland is awakening. The world is watching, captivated by the island's potential and the high-stakes geopolitical drama unfolding in its icy shadow. Greenland finds itself at a crossroads, balanced precariously between immense opportunity and profound uncertainty. The melting ice, once a barrier, is now a gateway, opening up new shipping routes, revealing vast reserves of natural resources, and attracting the attention of global superpowers eager to exploit these newfound treasures. The island's strategic importance has skyrocketed, turning it into a coveted prize in a rapidly shifting geopolitical landscape. But Greenland is not merely a pawn in a larger game. It's a nation coming into its own, grappling with its colonial past, forging its own identity, and fighting for a seat at the table where its fate, and the fate of the Arctic, will be decided. The decisions made by Greenland in the coming years will have far-reaching consequences, not just for the island's 56,000 inhabitants, but for the entire world. Will Greenland succumb to the pressures of globalization, its unique culture and pristine environment sacrificed on the altar of economic expediency? Or will it manage to chart a more sustainable path, balancing economic development with environmental protection, preserving its cultural heritage while embracing its role as a key player in a rapidly changing world? The world holds its breath, watching as Greenland, once an icy outpost on the edge of the map, takes center stage in the unfolding drama of the 21st century. The future, like the Arctic landscape itself, is fluid, unpredictable, and ultimately in the hands of the Greenlandic people.